volunteers, team members, contractors. Now, with anybody that had now, if you had an existing team, they will either need to stay on your old business or they move to your association as a contractor or a volunteer. Now, these will have links below on what the difference is and how to decide whether they are going to be a contractor or a volunteer, or whether they are just going to do casual work for you and just invoice your association. So it is up to you and your team to have a thorough discussion about how you want to move forward with them, because you cannot have employees of an unincorporated, unregistered, not-for-profit. Employees are only for incorporated and registered not-for-profit associations, not for unincorporated. So this cannot be a thing for you and your team. They will need to decide whether they're going to be a volunteer or a contractor. It's more than likely that they will be a contractor, that they will invoice you for projects that they have done and you will pay those invoices. So you and them come up with terms of their working conditions and how they are going to work. You can still have in place a agreement, but it would be called you can still have in place a contract, but it would be called an agreement instead of a contract. And you write out on that agreement every term and condition that they want and that you want in there. And then once you're both happy with that, then you can sign it. So then you can have the length of time that they're going to be working for you, the kind of projects that they're going to be working for you, the amount of pay and all of that there too. Now your team do not get paid holiday pay, sick leave, workers' compensation, superannuation, holiday pay, any of those things. So what you do is, rather than paying them their previous wage, you pay them a higher wage, generally 30 to 40% higher, so that they're new. So they don't get, so none of those inclusions are in there. So then what you pay them needs to be a premium amount. It needs to be a lot higher than their previous wages so that they can incur all of those costs and then go and pay for those things themselves if they so choose, because it will be up to them to get their own insurance and liability insurance if they want to. It's up to them whether they pay tax and superannuation and any of those things. It's completely up to them how they proceed forward, because they will be a contractor looking after their own affairs rather than you being an employer looking after their affairs. So it can be quite empowering and also quite confronting for your team. The majority of people's teams are happy to do so because they get paid a higher amount. I've only had a few people's teams that are not happy to do that because they want somebody to look after them. So it's just all in how you approach this with your team. And I would say only approach this with your team once you know all of the workings of how it's going to work. Do not go to them with, oh, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you feel about this? It provides so much insecurity in them that they get scared and fearful for their jobs, and they consider walking away if you change, because teams hate change. They like the way it is because that's what they're used to. But if you go to them when your product, your association is completely finished, and you tell them the benefits for them and how it's going to work moving forward, and these are the agreements, and that you want to support them long term, and these are the things that you can add into their contract, into their agreement, then it will be a lot better process for you. And if you need any support with that, you can always reach out to us and we can do team meetings for yourself and your team if you wish for extra education for them. And that will be at a cost as well. So you just need to let us know. We can do that for you if you would like. If it is new, if you wish to bring on new volunteers or contractors, then it can be very simple, because you just let them know how your association works and the invoicing process, that they invoice you for the works completed and that you pay them. If it is a volunteer, then please have a look below and see how volunteers work. Volunteers generally work in the association for no set times, and they get paid bonuses as you see fit and as they are comfortable with. So it's a bit of a different process. So you need to decide what is going to be best for you and your association and the team that is working with you.